Following his dominant submission victory over Sean O'Malley at UFC 316, it has become very apparent that Merab Dvalishvili has, in a very, very short period of time, cemented himself as the bantamweight GOAT, with a list of really, really impressive accolades, accomplishments, and just an absolutely stacked resume. And the thing is, he seems to be getting better by a significant margin. So I think it's time we talk about just how crazy Merab Dvalishvili really is. So first thing that I want to highlight is this man has only had 3 title fights, right? 14 fights in the UFC, I think. He broke George St. Pierre's takedown record. Now, Merab is notorious for shooting a bunch of takedowns and not getting any. He still breaks GSP's record. That's crazy. And the thing is, GSP fought very good competition, but he fought guys like Nick Diaz, Carlos Condit, some guys that didn't really have that great takedown defense. Merab's, doing this against Petr Yan, Jose Aldo, Umar Nurmagomedov. Again, very, very different styles of competitions, but it's still extremely, extremely impressive. And again, Merab has only been in the title picture for a very short amount of time. GSP is the GOAT of the sport, and Merab has broken that record. And after UFC 316, he has 97 takedowns in the UFC. He is 3 away from having 100 takedowns. Let that sink in. That is absurd. And the thing is, right, GSP, while he didn't have a very credentialed wrestling background, he was getting scouted by the Canadian Olympic wrestling team while he was in the UFC. Merab wasn't anything like that. He is just pure, hustle, and he's broken that record. That's crazy. Now, if we look at his striking, Merab's striking has always been pretty damn sloppy. But then, in this even against, Umar and O'Malley, there were still moments. But then, later in the fight, he's rocking Umar, right? He's tagging O'Malley with huge shots. That's insane. And the fact that he has so much energy, he can throw insane techniques and throw caution to the wind because he isn't going to gas out. It's really, really quite impressive. And let's just take a look at his resume, right? Let's take a look at the big names first. Marlon Moraes, former title challenger, deadly as hell, right? Can knock anyone out at any given day of the week. Nearly got finished by Marlon, came back, destroyed him. That's amazing. Jose Aldo. Even though he's lost his last 2, beating Jose Aldo convincingly is super, super impressive. And not getting rocked or anything either. Petr Yan dominating Petr Yan in a 5-round fight is ridiculous. In a 3-round fight, you can sort of pick and choose your moments and get through. In 5 rounds, that's unprecedented. He just battered Petr Yan from pillar to post. Henry Cejudo, an Olympic gold medalist, double champ in the UFC, toyed with him in the 2nd and 3rd round like he was nothing, right? Picked him up and was laughing. Then, right, Sean O'Malley. Probably the worst stylistic matchup for him in the division. Good takedown defense, long-rangey striker, insane power. Close fight, but beats him clearly. Umar Nurmagomedov, also a nightmare matchup, dynamic kicking game, good power, strong as hell, and with the wrestling pedigree to go along with it. Competitive fight, first 2 rounds, 3, 4, and 5, really cements himself, right? The Sean O'Malley rematch. O'Malley, not injured anymore, laser focused, looks good in the beginning of the fight. Merab starts teeing off on him on the feet and submits him, gets one of his first submission wins his first submission win in the UFC. And Merab, while he is 34 and in the lower weight classes, he is not showing any signs of slowing down. And it's kind of creating a vacuum at bantamweight, because let's say he gets past Sandhagen. Who else is there? A Yarn rematch? Could be interesting, but it's lackluster. An Umar rematch? That's exciting, but, you know, it's a rematch. Who else is there? Merab has in a very, very short amount of time, become, you know, I think it's without question that he's the bantamweight GOAT, but the fact that he is getting better, similar to a Duplessis, not the most skilled fighter, but his ability to hustle and just beat whatever is in front of him is absolutely ridiculous. And he's improving in each and every single fight. And to be honest, Merab is getting more exciting as well, and I love that. I love that. It's just the fact that he's beaten so many people in the division that it's kind of creating just, you know, a void. It's quite funny, actually, but Merab is getting scarier and scarier, and I would love to see Pantoja move up. I think that could be a very, very competitive fight, but Merab is just so damn good, and it's really quite scary because O'Malley is probably the hardest hitter other than maybe Song Yadong at bantamweight, and O'Malley couldn't hurt Merab, you know, rock him, right? It hurt him to the body, but couldn't stun him, couldn't wobble him. Who else can do that? I just don't know who can, you know, stop Merab in his tracks. I think it's a very, very difficult thing to do. I think maybe the only thing that could, you know, get Merab undone is he just comes into a fight way too injured. Because, you know, Merab's notorious for, you know, mucking around outside of the cage and getting, you know, into a bit of trouble and, you know, coming into fights injured, and eventually that might catch up with him. But even the fact that he comes into so many of these fights on antibiotics, with stuff, with an infection, with a cut in his leg, with injuries, every single fight, it seems, is so impressive. It really, really is. And he wants to stay active. It seems like they're going to do the Sandhagen fight. I know Dana mentioned Umar rematch, but Umar's not going to get one off. I know O'Malley did, but O'Malley's a start. Umar is not. You know, the commentators were talking about Sandhagen. Merab wants Sandhagen. It seems like the next natural step. Merab wants to stay active. I'd love to see Merab. I know there's no pay-per-view in September. Make a pay-per-view in September for Merab. Get him versus Sandhagen on that. Just do it. Or even in Chicago, right? Sandhagen's not going to have any injuries. Merab probably doesn't. Even if he does, he's going to fight anyway. Get him as a good co-main event on that Chicago card. Or, no, they're not going to do July. That's too soon. But yeah, he could, you know, be in a very, very interesting position. And Merab, he just keep doing what you're doing, honestly. And I think he's content to just rack up title defenses, even if they don't have much significance. Man can just keep setting records, and, you know, all power to him. He's a, you know, pretty humble dude. He's quite likable. I know he, you know, had his moments where he's a bit boring and he beats everyone's favorite bantamweights. That's kind of... I've picked against Merab in every single fight that he's had, and he's won every single time. And it's not about to change. I'm going to pick Sandhagen to beat him, okay? Yeah. Just kidding. Merab will probably get through Sandhagen, but it's just insane how much he's improved lately. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about just Merab's improvements and just how ridiculous it is, because I didn't really expect him to become champion, and I don't think a lot of people did. He showed very glaring holes early in his career. But I just wanted to bring that up as a talking point. So I hope you guys enjoyed the discussion. You guys know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later.